a few fingers crossed. We might see if we can get a decent enough connection. I hope. So anyway, this is Dryburgh Abbey, which is one of the 4 ruined abbeys in the Scottish borders. One of my favourite places to be, because it's gorgeous and it's very quiet and beautiful and relaxing, and stunning place, I think. And I like showing you interesting places like this when we've got sufficient signal for a live stream. Sadly, here at the Abbey, it's a pretty poor connection. But let's see if we'll try walking along this way and see if it's all right. Walking down to the river, then we'll try walking back up that way and into the Abbey. Fingers crossed. But isn't it a gorgeous place? So this was built in the 12th century by monks that had come over to Scotland from France. Let's go and no, let's go down this way. We'll go down to the river and then we'll come around and back up towards the Abbey that way, I think. Yeah, so the monks of Dryburgh Abbey, they were invited over by the king to build some abbeys here at Dryburgh and Kelso and Melrose and Jedburgh. They're also invited to Selkirk as well, but that abbey doesn't exist anymore. Even more than the ones here, that is. And they were invited to spread the good word and spread culture and education and modern architectural practices and so on. And they did. And they helped turn Scotland into a modern European country. Me, ducks and stuff. Hi. There's some ducks over here. Do you want to see some ducks? I'll show you some ducks. I know there are some mallards in the river, on the river. Oh, there's a heron as well. There's some ducks over there. Let's zoom in. So, where are we? Ducks, your favourite animal? Well, there's... Let's see, I'm trying to find them. There's one. And there's another one down there, I think. And... oh, that heron's... oh, there it is. There it is. There is a heron. Hello, Astrolith. Good name. And there's something else over there. Yeah, so that's a few ducks for you. Don't say I can't provide the content you're looking for on the roof. So let's go. So this is the hotel, by the way. This is Dryburgh Abbey Hotel there, but we're not interested in that. We're interested in the actual abbey. So I'll go up this way. Where am I from? I'm from Scotland, where we are. So I live just a few miles away in South Scotland, not far from Dryburgh. And this is one of my favourite places to come. It's run by Historic Scotland, which is the government organisation that looks after ancient buildings, abbeys and castles and things like that. And it's it's a place I like to come to and experience the atmosphere. I will say, however, the signal is not great here. The signal is pretty poor. So we just have to put up with that. If the signal disappears entirely, then it's because it's not great. I just have to put up with it. You see all the bluebells, beautiful Scots bluebells. Thank you, Bill H. Bluebells. You're from India. Hello. Red pagoda, is that? Welcome. Loads of purple and white bluebells there. And there's some daffodils, although they're kind of past their best now, to be honest. Let's go for a stroll. Poor signal at all, yes. Hello, Nicole Summers. There's some beautiful Japanese cherry trees here in blossom. I don't know what these are. They look like, I don't know, they're like purple speed oil or something. They're nice, they're pretty. I'm not a flower expert. I don't pretend to be. Thank you for the thumbs up. Always nice to have a little thumbs up. This is the woodland area. How many types of flower can you find? This is a common cherry tree. There's a really nice tree over there that we'll have a little look at in a moment. That blossom. Isn't it gorgeous here? Isn't it beautiful? I think it is. So we've got bread pakoda in from India. Where else are people from? Hopefully this signal will stay reasonable. HRH ready, Jenny. Wow. When were you appointed to be a Royal Highness? But nice to see you anyway. I'll show you the name of this. So this is the Great Western Doorway. 15th century. Good facework of the wall has been robbed by the English, of course. There was a large window overhead. But it's got some nice carvings on it still. And yeah, so there would be nice, you know, more like that. So you've got the nice smoother stone here. So that should be what the outside of the building looks like, but it's all been removed. It's been kind of destroyed and left with like the inside of the walls. Sadly. Identified. Okay. That's fair enough. So here, got these massive pillars. So you get these, you can see the start of one of the massive pillars, and you've got, I think there's 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, there's 14, I reckon. So you get these huge pillars extending up to the ceiling before they were destroyed. Gonna have to imagine that. It'd be quite something, wouldn't it? So this, yeah, the masonry is so made. It is. Yeah, you can see there it's much smoother on that corner and over there. Yeah, so this is the choir stalls. Sorry, this is the choir stalls on the left and right, high altar in front. So this is the holiest part of the building is up there. The high altar is towards that end. Upon 4 high piers, as though on still 3 massive bases. Can you read that? And 3 massive bases remain. The northeast pier in front and to your left is complete. Note at the beginning of the 2 high arches which spring from it. So we've got the high arches there. So you've got these arches which would extend up, you know, a massive arch like that, and another one like that. Yeah. Quite amazing. You've got the start of one of them there as well. So you would have huge arches up like that. Stunning. It's a beautiful day, by the way. It's nice and sunny. Nice and sunny. Let's quickly have a look at Walter Scott's grave. And so here, this is Henry's doing. Old Henry is at it again. This is where Walter Scott was buried. Yeah, Henry and others. Let's see, Sir Walter Scott Baronet, Dame Charlotte and Margaret Carpenter, Like the small Scot of Abbotsford. Lieutenant Colonel Sir Walter Scott of Abbotsford died at sea. Yeah, Henry and others. Oliver. The person that built the abbey, though, Hugh de Morville, or Hugo de Morville, as it says there. Hugo de Morville, Lord of Lauderdale, Lord High Chancellor of Scotland, built this place. I hear a bee there, I think. Yes, we shan't climb all the way up. This is one of my favourite views, looking that way. The nice silhouette behind, isn't it gorgeous? We'll have a little look in the graveyard as well. I'll tell you what, let's go up there first. Let's go over that way. Right, watch. You don't bang your head on the masonry. So anybody who's over about, what, 5'9", be careful. Literally stunning. So I'll have a little look up this way, and then we'll go and see the graveyard a wee bit. So this is where the monks would live here. The abbot and the monks would be living up in this area. That's another good view there. Now, let's try going up there. Right, bear with me a moment. Okay. There. I got slightly dizzy as I went up the spiral staircase there. But here we are. Able to look down. Isn't it gorgeous? We'll go back down now. We're up among the treetops. Gorgeous. Wouldn't love to be here. Looking at this. Wow. That tree. Right, let's try. I swap hands on my phone. I'll try going back down and see how narrow the stairs are. Right. Hopefully I don't fall. Okay, that's better. There. Success. I hear a bee again. I'll see it. Alright, let's head towards the graveyard. And I think I'll take a few pictures. I'll take some pictures and then I might draw them on Tuesday when I'm in the cafe. because I like drawing pictures of where I've been. I hear staff wandering around. There's some nice pansies over there in the boxes. Yeah, one of my favourite parts of the Abbey is definitely the graveyard. It is a shame that the abbeys were destroyed by the English. I think it's fair to say. Just imagine if they were still standing today, this tremendous asset they would be to us. Why so? Why so what? Why is the graveyard one of my favourite places? Even for the oldest tombs, oldest ones, well, they're often the smallest ones. I mean, potentially they could be going back to the 1200s, but I like the ones with the carvings on, like this one, for example. It's somebody reading a book. So we can't tell much about it, but presumably this is a monk or an abbot reading the Bible, it would be. There's another one. You can see the angel there at the top. So there's no date on it, we can't read any date. But yeah, beautiful. Up there, this one has got some symbols on it. So we've got a skull, and crossbones, and we've got an egg timer sort of thing lying on its side there. You can just about make that out. No date again. It's so old. So this is sandstone, I reckon, and it weathers pretty quickly. So yes, one difficult to read. Difficult to read. I'm probably in Latin. Well, I like the carvings, but I like the lived. You know, this shows the actual lives of the people that lived here. You know, the portraits of the people and their names, if you can read them, and when they were alive, like John Richardson, who died 18th September 1892. Barbara Scott, 7th September. Adam, their eldest son, who died at age 17, etc. Yeah, so there's newish ones from the 1700s, 1800s. This one is 1825. Thomas Brocky. Yeah, Brocky. Look at that one. Isn't that gorgeous, that one? Oh, beautiful. Yeah. As I say, though, probably the smallest ones are the oldest and the most weathered. So this one, it might be 1500s, something like that. She looks quite amazing, doesn't she? You know, it's a person who lived 500 years ago, maybe. And it's got all the symbols. So quite often you'd find somebody had the symbols of their profession, their job, would be on their grave for people who couldn't read. Memory of Janet Brown. On the other side. Also George Brown, who died at Corsby, 1888. Also Margaret Patterson. Maggie Brown, who died at Jedburgh. William Brown, eldest son of above, who died in Vancouver. Helen Brown, who died in Edinburgh. And on the back, to save space, 1921. That's what I love about Roman tombstones, the person listed professionally. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think it's a good idea. So this guy, again, probably a monk, at least, you know, a person of letters. Then again, looking at this, so this like a frock coat, that could be a doctor, a lawyer. Yeah, so there's a what looks like a nice wig, and you can see the buttons on the frock coat there. Something going on here. So yeah, maybe 1600s, 1700s. That one just says E. Walker. There's one with the moss on it. Yeah, again, impossible to read, unfortunately. Quite beautiful. What's this? Petra, the peregrine falcon. Peregrine means pilgrim in Latin. Flying faster than wind on wings smooth as satin, she wanders the skies hunting her prey. Who will she pick for her dinner today? I wonder. It's a beautiful place just to wander around. I admire the architecture and the silence. Just take in the beauty. Natural and artificial. "30 minutes later. Yes, Trizza? Keep on. Right, something I always like to show people when we're here. Now listen. Right, listen. Okay, listen to that. Listening. Okay, we're over here. So there, and that's got a mark on it. So that sounds like it's hollow for some reason. Nobody knows why. There. Weird. Weird, eh? Was that some secret Masonic thing on the edge of the Abbey? Could be. Could be. Down here, it's kind of, around the side of the Abbey, it's quieter, even quieter. Here, a few children playing over that way though. Dynasties hiding things around this. Could be. Maybe a golden chalice or yeah, something like that. It's stunning though, isn't it? That architecture up there. But in Melrose, and Jedburgh in particular, there's some really fine examples of icons, the religious statues. You've got St. Peter and St. Paul and other people like that high up on the walls. which you don't really get, unfortunately, at Dryburgh. So they'll have been, you know, the Catholic symbols that Henry wanted to take down, but they are preserved, possibly by being hidden, or possibly just because they were inaccessible through the English troops. So I think I'll take some pictures. I'll put them on my Discord for those of you who are members of my Discord. And if you're not, you can apply to join. And if you are there, you can look forward to some pictures appearing soon. Oh, I didn't show you one of my favourite little statues around here. Just have a quick look at these. Elizabeth Brockey, daughter of Alex Brockey and Janet Fryer, or Freer, died at Galashiels 1844. There's somebody else there as well. Helen Brockey, tenant, sometime tenant at Sheffield. So yeah, tenant farmer, somebody who would work the land without owning it. But yes, look at this one. Look at this. Memory of Peter Starling, resident in Dryburgh, 44 years, who died there May 1847. And Thomas and Anne Starling, age 14. John, artist. Interesting. Artist died 55. But yeah, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Quite stunning. Yes, alright, so I'll take some pictures and I'll put them up on my Discord so that people can see them. This is erected by all ranks of the Royal Horse Guards, 7th Hussars and 17th Lancers, of which regiments Lord Hague was colonel. Lord Hague being Lord Hague of Beamerside, who led the British Army in the First World War, who is buried just there. So he died in the 1920s, I think, and his grave is exactly the same as just an ordinary soldier. Any soldier would get a grave just like that, and even though he was the head of the entire army, he decided he'd just have a plain ordinary grave like so many of his men who died underneath him. I think it's quite right. Right, so I shall stop and take a few photos, and then I will draw some photos on Tuesday morning, probably, in the cafe, Tuesday morning. So that'll do for the moment. So thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. It's always nice to have people around. If I'm wandering around an abbey on my own, to have people with me. So I'll see you tomorrow afternoon in the cafe. Have a bit of a chat. Said hi. I'll have a bit of a chat, and I'll have lunch tomorrow in the cafe. Then on Tuesday morning, I'll probably do some sketches of the photos I take here. And you never know what else I might do. So I shall see you all later. Thank you for being here. Cheery bye. Have a nice Thursday.